Now, hello everyone. Am I audible? I think so. I'm live now, right? Hello everyone. Welcome back to the session. Just confirm it in the comments, like if I'm live or not yet. If my audio is clear, voice is clear, video is clear, everything is great. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, Pranay. Good evening, storyteller. Good evening to everyone, and welcome back. Okay. Yeah. Guys, just be quick to tell me if my voice is clear, my video is clear, there's no issue with that, then both, and then we can proceed forward. Yes, sir. Great, 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 great. Okay, till last class, we have treated much of the part. Okay, so in today's class, we'll move forward from there. Okay, and before ending our yesterday's class, I gave you a short work that you had to do it, but I think so most of you did or not, I do not know. So that was a error being thrown. What are we agreeing to? I think so, Raj, Vardhan, you are too late to know what we are agreeing to. Yeah. So what we did was we had a small error. We had a small error inside one of the fold file. So I gave you a task what to do to find the error. What exactly was the error in our case? Okay. Yeah, guys, first tell me what was the error. Yes, the button was the problem. So why was it a problem? Can you just tell me fast? Why was it a problem? Fast. We have to move forward too. I want your responses fast. Tell me what was the issue. Once you tell me the issue, we'll move forward. We'll move forward to the next thing. Not getting the applied color you defined. Yeah, so I told you to debug it. Okay, I asked you to let me know what was the exact issue in that case. Okay. I also know that we had some debug issue. Okay. But what was the exact problem? What was the exact thing that we were missing out in that case? I want to know that. Anyone who could tell me what was the issue? Online score and schedule button. No one. You did not got the error. What was the error? No one got it. Guys, fast, fast. Tell me fast. What was the issue? Why were we not getting it up? I copy pasted the last four CSS. Yeah, so what happened when you copy pasted the last four CSS? Okay, should I tell you what was the issue? Like if you are not able to debug it up, should I? Do you think you will be? Okay, leave it up. We'll begin. I will tell you what was the issue with that. Okay. Let's get to the right slide. Yeah. Done. Okay. So let's begin back. Okay. So we made a small error, a very small error that we should not had made. Because of that, we were not getting our components on button right. Okay. So directly get into the button.js. Over here, you will be seeing one thing. So we have defined variants inside this. Okay. So this variant that we have defined, we have written the spelling of variant wrong. So it should be A not E. Okay. Once we correct it out, we write VARIANTS. In that case, you can see everything is well and good. Solved. Matter is solved. Okay. Audit. Great. Okay. Everyone clear till this point? Should we move? Yeah, good evening, everyone. Both of my buttons are working. Great. If your buttons are working, then it is great. We just had a small spelling mistake that we did. So we write A and we are good to go. Okay. So let's quickly get into what we are going to learn today. Okay. So first of all, we have to get into, yeah, just a minute. Okay, select and let's please wait two four. Okay. So we are done with the header, we are done with the hero. Now we want our points table. So points table section. So this section will be a API section. Okay. We have to integrate our API in this section. Okay. So how to do that? We have to see. First of all, before the points table, we will be working with API.js. So we will be understanding how to take the response, how to manage those response, and how to convert that response to readable form. That thing we'll be seeing in API.js, and we'll move to points table. And then we have stats section. This is purely like front end part. So we can name it as a static part. And this will be our dynamic part for today. What will be our dynamic part for today. And after this, we have our last section that will be our footer. Okay. So that will also be our static section. Okay. So three main things to complete: points, table, stats, and footer. Okay. Let's see if we are going to complete it in the session, or else you will get it as a challenge. Okay. Either we will complete it in today's session, or you might get it as a challenge after the session. Okay. So let's begin with the points table section first. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. One more thing. Before points table, yeah. So before points table, I think so. We also have a small one thing, that is we have to add a small background image in home section. Background image in home section. I will show you how to upload images in the code sandbox, and from there we have to make our background images in the home section. Okay. Yeah. So let's begin with the home section first, where we need to add the background. Okay. Yeah. So first of all, to upload any file or folder, okay, any file or any image, any video inside a folder, what you do is you get on the directory, you right click on the directory, okay. Once right click, you will click on the upload button, okay. You click on the upload button, you get the dialog box to upload the images, okay. You select any image and click on the open and the image will get uploaded. Like I have stadium.jpg, it will not show directly. So once we render it in the home screen, in that case, it will show you. So this is how you have to do it. Okay. So let's begin in the home section where we will be applying this up. Okay. So let's minimize this preview somewhat and this part also somewhat. Okay. Now let's begin our code. So, right now, or in our home section, we do not have any background or anything right now. We just have our one different section getting rendered. Now, what we will do is we will add that background image and we will manage the screen size and all other things. Let's quickly do it. Okay. So, yeah, we already have one outer defined over here. Inside, we have to give minimum height screen. And then this is a special part. Now, we are not going to use any image tag or any other thing. We will directly be using our background. Okay. So this is our background class in Tailwind CSS. What it will do is it will directly take up stadium.jpg. Now, there's one special catch that we have to remember. We are just writing slash stadium.jpg. Why? Because our images inside the public folder. So if you are keeping any assets or media inside a public folder, so accessing that asset or media will be much more easier. So that's why we keep most of our things in public folder. Most of our images or videos that we are going to use, we keep it up inside our public folder. Okay. So by this, we can access it up. Now we have to change the properties for it to be clearly visible. So background we are added. Now background will be kept as background cover and background will be kept as background center. Okay, once this is done, we will be fixing our background. We do not want our background to move up and down. We want it to be fixed at one particular location. Okay. Yeah. So outer div is done. And then again, we will be defining one more inner div, two more inner divs. So let's define that too. Div and div. Let's give this a class name. Now, what we will be doing inside this, we will be just again we'll be giving our background color as well as minimum screen height. Okay, so minimum height will be screen and background color. Background color will be somewhat black. We can directly write it black about 40. Okay, so open this div. Then again, one more div. Over here, we will be defining our space between each sections, class name, and inside this, we'll be defining our space between different sections. So we will be giving space y. Okay, I think you understand why we are giving space y or space x. Okay, we want to have a space between two different sections, so that is why we are giving space y 12. And the padding bottom will also be given as okay. Now we have to write our new section inside that. So all sections that will come inside this will have a background opacity of around 90. So let's embed our hero section inside this, and we can remove our hero section from over here. Yeah. So now let's give a background opacity of around 90 or 80 will work. So what is background opacity? Background opacity is the visibility of your background. Okay, visibility of a background. So it's like moving towards transparent background. More the opacity, more will be the transparency. Okay, so we gave a background opacity of 90. So I think so you can see the image right down here. Once we add one more section, it will be more clearly visible. Yeah, you can see. So this is the stadium background that we wanted to add it up. Okay. Now, once we are done with the points table thing, you will see the point table with a gap from hero section being rendered over the image. Okay. That is what our background is for. Okay. Okay, then the homepage thing is done. Let's get to our next thing, that is API. Okay. So why we need the API? We need the API to load up the data in points table section. Okay. So for this, inside our SRC itself, inside the source, we will be creating one services folder. So inside that services folder, we will keep the API. So let's create services. Inside the services, we are creating the API.js. Okay. Now, before writing this code, I will tell you what API we are going to use. So quickly get on your Rapid API website. Okay. Once you get inside that, you have to search for Cricket Live Line. Okay. Cricket Live Line. I will show you. Just give me a moment. Yeah. So this is your Rapid API website. Over here, you have to search for Cricket Liveline. You are getting this first one, Cricket Liveline API. Okay. So this will be, I know you can see my API key. For sure, I will delete it after this session. Okay. Because I know many people wants to try it out. But I will suggest don't use this API key because it will not be functional. So after the session, I will clearly delete it out. Okay. Now we'll be using this API key to render all the points table data and other data if we want. So first of all, we just want points table thing right now. So we will be using that points table. So you can just come on this site. You will get the URL link from over here. Then header. So we have to add two headers. See, every time we make a API request, we have a header. So what is header used for? Let's see what is header used for. Okay, then we'll move forward. So what I was talking about API. So when we have API, so we have two things. One is URL and one is headers. Okay, so URL is used to navigate to the API. URL is used to navigate to the API, and headers is used for authentication of that API. If the API request that we are making, it is authenticated or not, or it is valid or not. Okay. to check the validity of the request, we use our headers. Okay, so these are the two main components of the API request. That is URL plus header. Okay, once you are done with this, we have different kinds of requests like get request. Get request is to get components or get material or data. Then we have put request to put anything, and we have post request. This is also a request to send data. Okay, not to take, but to send data. Okay, get request is to get data. Okay, we have two kinds. One is get request, another one is put request, post request. We also have delete and other things. But what we require right now is just get request. Why? Because we are trying to get data from that API, not put data. We are trying to get data. So we will be using this get request. Okay, got the point? API, it has two main components. One is API URL, one is API header. Okay. And what we will be doing is we will be doing the get request for this API. Okay. Everyone clearly understood this part? Just write in the chat, yes, no, got the point, retort got the point. Yeah. Everyone clear with this point? Yes. Yes. Great, great. Others, what about others? Everything clear? Is there anything that you're not understanding? Okay. Okay then. We'll move forward then. Okay. Yeah. So I was showing you the API. So what we have is URL first thing, and then we have our header, and then we will be having our in headers we have two things. One is X Rapid API host, and then X Rapid API key. So key will be very important for you to verify and authenticate your request. Okay. So now we have to get the points table thing. Okay. So let's get to the code. I will show you what all URL we have to use and other things. So before that, we will be using one important thing that is known as Axios. So Axios is kind of intermediate, or else Axios is a middleware for sending request. Okay, Axios is a middleware for sending request. Yeah. So we'll be installing Axios. Axios. So let's install up the Axios. Okay. Now we will import this Axios. Import Axios from Axios. We are done with that. Now, once our Axios is installed, next part that we'll be doing is we'll be defining our API key, API underscore, not key, URL. So first thing will be is defining our API URL. So you can directly take it from the Rapid API. Okay. So let's take it up and let's paste it up here. Okay, API will be https get live inline1.p.rapid.com, and then we'll be defining our header. So const headers headers, and in headers we will be having 2 points. Okay, are you going to share the API detail? No, Rajvardhan, use your own APIs. Okay, do not use mine API. I will delete that API key because I don't want you to use that. I want you to go to Rabbit API and create your own API keys. Okay, do not rely on mine. Yeah, so let me copy the header thing. Then same, you can go to the site over here. You can copy the Xrapid API host and Xrapid API key. Okay, so let me just add it up inside here, and yeah, we are done. So we have configured our API URL. We are done with the API headers. And next is we have to write our request. Okay. So now we will be writing our request. We'll be creating our request for get by using our Axios. What we'll be using is Axios. Okay. So let's get in that. Okay. Yeah. So first of all, we'll create the function for the points table. So we will be also using async await. So I think so you would be knowing what async await is. Async await is used for your asynchronous function management. Okay, I will write it up here. What we are using is we are using our async and await. Okay, so this will be used for asynchronous asynchronous task management. Asynchronous task management. Okay, so that is what our async await will be used for. Okay, so let's begin that. So we'll be writing export default. Okay, export default get points table. Gets for get points table. Okay, get points table. We are done with that, and then we'll define the async. Yeah, guys, can you confirm if I'm audible to you or not? I think so. I got muted. Hello. Let's leave the attendance. Tell me if I'm audible or not. Just confirm that if I am audible or not. Yes, am audible. Okay, great. Yeah. So, yeah, what I was telling was, yeah, so we created the async function. Okay. So inside this async function, we will be making our request. So now let's create const options. Okay. So inside this options, we will be sending our request. Okay, so options will contain all different things related to your API calling. So method, first of all, what method we are going to use? We are going to use our get method. What method? Get method. Neither post nor put nor delete. Get because we are trying to get data. Now, let's get to the next thing, URL. Okay, URL. So now the default URL that we have is stored inside the API URL, but we will need something else, something more than that. So let's use that. Okay. Yeah. So dollar and the default that we created was API underscore URL. And along with that, we will be adding some more things that will be series. You will get this all detail on the API site. Okay. This I'm not writing it on my own. I got all details from the site and we'll be writing in stable. Okay. So this is the endpoint to which we will make a request. Okay. This is the endpoint to which we are going to make a request to. URL is done. Okay. Now let's get to next thing that is headers. So now I told you what headers is used for. Headers will be used for your authentication of the request. If the request that you are sending in is really valid or else there is some malicious request that is going on being sent. Okay. For that we'll be using our header. Okay. Everyone got till this point? We defined our options. Inside options, we defined our types of method, what method we are going to use. We defined our URL, okay, endpoint URL, and then we defined our header. Okay, got till this point? Everyone just respond yes, no. Guys, yes, no, any doubts, any problems? Great, 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 great. Okay, now let's move to our next thing. First options. This is, yeah, the same thing that we wrote. I'll just correct it out. Now, the next thing that we'll be doing is defining a try catch block. So we will be making the request inside a try catch block. Why? Because we want to manage our error. We should have a better error handling. Okay. Okay. I think so. You know what try catch block is. Okay. So it is basically used in error handling and mitigation. Okay. So what we are using is we are using our try catch block. So what it will do is it will help you in error management. It will help you in error management. Okay, got it? Yeah. Okay, so let's get into the try catch block. So we'll be writing our main code of the response or the request in the try block. So first of all, we have to write a const response is equals to. Now, we'll be using Axios. I already told what we are going to use is Axios. So here we will use await. Okay, we are using async and await. Async, we defined it at the top. Okay, while defining our function. Now await, we are going to use it over here. So then await axios dot request. Now we are making a request. Okay. So if you want something from the API, you have to make the request first. Okay. So options. So options we already created over here. So inside the request, we will be sending option to the API. So by using the option, the API will get to know what we want and if our request is valid or not. Okay. That is what we are trying to do over here. Once we are done with this, we will try to console log this. Most probably, we will see it in our UI itself. We do not need, but just for the safer side, we will be writing response data. Okay, response data, comma, and then a response dot data. Okay, so why I am writing response dot data, I will just show you shortly. I will show you the screenshot of request that we are getting in. So from that, you will get to know why we are writing response dot data. Okay. Now, next thing that we have is we have to map it out. So before mapping it out, let me show you how we are getting our data. Okay. What is the structure of data that we are getting? Just give me a moment. And so, yeah. Let's get on the whiteboard over here. Let me paste it up. So I think so you can see up. Okay. So this is the data response that we are getting from the API. So what's happening is we are having a response and we are having a data object inside which we are having all of our data. Now, again, inside the data, we have A. So inside A, we have all teams detail. So PTS is the points, total points that the team has. W is the win. L is the loss. P is total number of matches played. Okay. Q is left empty. NR is net run rate. So net run rate is this. I think so. This is something else. This is team ID. Flag is the image of the logo of the team and then team name. So this is the structure of data that we are getting from this API. So if you want to test it out yourself, you can use Postman for that. Okay. Is there a red line under my Rapid? There is a red line under your Rapid API key. No issue. It would be a false kind of alarm. Okay. I don't think so. There should be a red line. For me also in the headers it is showing, but it is not an error. I think so. X-ray rapid API key, exhaust. Yeah, everything is fine. It's not an issue. Okay. Yeah. So let's get back to here. So this is the response that you're getting. Now you have to structure this response. There are two things. There are two ways. Either you can directly use this response inside the UI. Okay. Either we can directly use this up. We have one thing is directly using it up, or else what we can do is we can structure it up. We can structure it up. So according to our way, we can map it up and structure it up, or we can directly use it up. So I will show you by structuring it up because it will be much better for your knowledge. Okay, I will structure it up and will show you in the front end part then. Okay, so let's get back to the structuring part. We got our data in response. Okay, we stored our data in response. After getting our data in response, we have to structure it up. Now, next thing that we'll be writing is return. We will be returning this data, but with a slight modification. So response dot data dot data dot. Now, next will be A because we are having all our data inside A. I think so. You can see we are having all our data inside of A. That's why we are writing dot of A. Okay. Now, dot of map. So we are going to map it up inside, and then it will be team. And let's start with the map thing. Okay. Yeah. So one to comma. Yeah, we are good to go now. We are done with this thing. Now we will be writing each and every field. So let's start with the team. Okay. So team will be team dot. Team dot. What is the team we are say having? Yeah, so inside A, the team is given with team's name. Okay, so we'll be writing team dot teams. Okay, team is done. Now, next thing what we need. Next thing is played. So, how many number of matches did the team play? So it will be team dot pts, not team dot p, because p is the number of matches that they played. Okay. Now, next thing we are done with the play. Next thing will be won. How many number of matches did they win actually? Team dot w. W will be used for won. You can see the API. You have to refer the API to know this keys. Okay. So dot w. Next thing, we have to see how many number of matches did they lost. Okay. How many number of matches did they lose? So team dot now again L. So we have L for the loss. Okay. Then next thing, after loss, what comes is points. So what are total number of points does the team has? So we have to write a small points. Okay, team dot pts. Okay, this is our points. We are done with the points. Again, next thing is our net run rate. So teams dot nrr is what we'll be using, not teams, it will be team. Okay, check for the spellings. Do not write team because we have defined team over here, not teams. Okay, now last thing that we want is flag. So we want to show the flag. So flag will be in smaller case letter. So team dot what is the name of flag that we have kept over here is flag itself. So it will be dot flag. Okay. Okay, guys, clear till this point or not? Just quickly tell me, is everything clear till this point? Everyone, I want everyone to respond in the chat. Okay, I want to know if things are clear for you till this point or not. Yes, no, not clear. What is not clear? Tell me. What's the thing that you're not getting? Tell me. Yeah, guys, first tell me what is the thing, if it is clear or not. Okay, is data supposed to be twice? No, data is not supposed to be twice. It will be single. Okay, so this is there. Yeah, it will be single. It is not going to be twice. It's yeah, same thing. Clear, clear. Great, great, great. Anyone else? Any issue? Any problem? See, I think you should not get confused in this. This two datas are separate. This is for KKR team. This is for SRS team. This is not twice of data. We will have consequently many number of more rows in that. Line number 21. Line number 21. Okay, line number 21. In line number 21, we are just trying to restructure. Okay, so normally we are getting the response in this way. So you can obviously use it, no problem. We can use it directly. But what I want is I want to restructure it. I do not want to directly use it up. So I want to have my data in the form I want. So that's why I am using response.data.a.map. Now I am mapping all of the data and creating it in this form. Creating it in this form. Okay. So that is why we are using map. Okay. Yeah, guys, clear till this point? Done. Should we move forward? Yes. Okay. Then we'll move forward. So now we have to write the catch function also. We have defined our try catch block. So next we'll be writing our catch. So inside catch we have to define error. So catch will only get activated when you have a error. Okay. So if you do not have error, in that case the catch is not going to work. Console dot error. There was error fetching the data. Okay, we will be showing this. There was an error fetching the data, and then we'll throw the error. Okay, so if you are getting error, we will get directly inside the catch block. We are not going to execute the try block. Okay, try block will get executed only if there is no error. Okay, if there is no error, in that case only we will have our try block getting executed. Okay, great. Yeah, guys, everything clear till this point? Yes, nice explanation. Thanks, Tripathi Varsha. Yeah, guys, clear? Yes, yes, yes. Great, 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 great. So, we'll move to next thing now. Okay. So next thing is writing our UI part. Okay. So we got the data. Now we have to check if the data that we are getting is visible in the UI part or not. So we will start with that work too. Okay. So now services is done. Inside a component, we'll create one new file with name as live score, not yeah, team standing or else team points. Okay. So let's make it up. Team standing dot JSS. Okay. So now inside this folder, inside this file, we'll be writing the UI part for the team standing. So let's start with the export default function. What we have is team standing, and same thing written and all. But before that, we also have to import our use state because we will be using our use state and use effect both use state as well as use effect. Why are we using use effect? So let me tell you that first. So use effect will be used for calling that data. Okay. So we got a data from a API. Now use effect will be used for calling that API data that we got. Okay. So calling that API data from different file. For that we'll be using our use effect. And use state will be used for loading and not loading thing because we want to add a loader. Okay, so we want to add a loader. For that we'll be using use effect thing. Okay, so before that let me quickly add one more section, that is loader loader.jsx. So this section we will directly take it up. That's not a big code. It is just a small loader window. Okay, you can either also use predefined loaders. Okay, it's upon you. No problem with that. We also have some predefined loaders in Tailwind too. So let's use this up. Loading spinner. Okay. Yeah. So let's begin. We have imported our use state and use effect. Now, next thing that we'll be importing are the API created. That the API that we created, we have to import that. So import. What was the name of the API that we created? Was get points table points table. Now, from where we will be importing it up. Now, let's see the structure. So currently we are inside the component and we have to go inside the services. So it will be dot slash service slash API. Okay, what it will be? It will be this dot slash services dot API. Guys, understand the directory structure. Okay, why we are using this? Okay, dot slash services slash API because we have to move one directory back and then inside the service directory and then inside the API. Okay, that is why we are using this up. Then we created the loader spinner. So we will be using that too. And that is inside our UI. Okay, so let's import that up quickly. Yeah, so we are not moving any folder back. So we'll directly use the import statement directly import loader spinner from UI slash loading spinner. So loading spinner is defined over here. You will get this code when we share it up. Okay. Till then, you can use any predefined, no problem, or else you can write it up. Yeah, we are done with till this point. Okay. So how did you find out that data page? Data page. See the file structure. File structure. Right now we are coding in team standing. Team standing is inside the component. Okay. So first of all, you have to get outside of the component folder. So for that, I'm using dot dot slash. Once I do that dot dot slash, I get outside of the component folder inside the source. Then I'm doing slash services. Once we are doing slash services, we get inside the slash services part, and then we are using the API.js. Okay, so that's how we are getting inside that. Okay, done. Okay, so let's begin with our use state creation and all. So we will be creating our use state. One will be our use state for storing the data that we are getting. So it will be points table and set points table is equals to use state. Now see, before we created use state in that we used false or else zero one thing in counter and other things. Now in this use state we have array. Why do we have array? Because the data that we are sending back, the data that we are sending back, that is in the form of array or else object. So for that, we have to create an empty array or object inside the use state, or else you have to initialize it with empty array. Okay, so for that, we are using opening and closing large braces. Okay, now let's manage the data fetching. We'll be using use effect. What is this? Why is it coming up? Now, yeah, use effect. Let's move it somewhat down. We don't want it to stick to the top. Okay. Yeah. So use effect is created and then use effect, we will be naming it up small braces and then this. Okay. Yeah. So we are done with the use effect thing. Like we have created the use effect. Now we will be creating our function inside the use effect. Okay. So we'll name that function as fetch points table, fetch points table. Okay. So inside the fetch points table, we will be asking for the data to be set. So again, here comes our async thing. Okay. Again, we are going to use our async await again over here too. Okay. We have created our async too. We are good to go with this. Okay. Now I told you we will be using the try catch block. So whenever, see, the important thing is whenever we try to import the data, whenever we try to fetch the data, in that case, we always work with try catch block. Why? Because it is your error handling blocks. Okay, so that's why we use our try catch block always. Okay, now inside the try block, we'll be getting our data. So let's name the data as const data is equals to await. Now we have imported get points table over here. Now we'll be getting our data from this point. So get points table. Okay, we are getting our data from here. Get points table thing. Okay. Now once we get our data, we have to put this data inside points table. That is this one. Once we get our data, we have to put it inside this use state. I know this might get confusing. What we are trying to do is we are trying to get a data from our service API that we created over there. From once we get that data, what we are trying to do is we are trying to add that data to our use state. Okay, that's what we are trying to do. Do not get confused with what we are trying to do. Okay, table, and then we will be writing data inside that. Okay, with this we have got our data, and inside the catch block we will be writing error, and we have to define one more use state, const error. It will be error, comma set error. Okay, we are done with this. Is equals to use state. Okay, use state, and this will be defined as null for starting. We do not have any error. That is why we will be defining it as null in the starting. Okay, that's how we will be work. Okay, so we are done with the error. So inside the catch block, what we will be do is we will set the error as we are unable to load the data. So that is what we will be showing it on the screen. So if the data is not being rendered properly, there is some error at the end point. In that case, we will be putting it as error. We are not able to get the data. Now, another state that we will be using is loading. So loading will be used for managing the loader. Okay, loading, comma set loading. Okay, is equals to use state, again use state, and by default it will be kept as true. Okay, by default it will be kept as true. So once we are done with the try catch block, we will be writing it in finally. Okay, so once we are done with the try catch block, inside the finally block we will be set loading, and loading will be set as false. Okay, loading is set as false inside the finally block. Okay, yeah, guys, clear till this point? Guys, are you clear till this point or not? Done till this point? Any doubts till this point? Any problems? Now, last thing that we'll be doing is fetch points table, and we'll close this up. And one more thing, comma, and we have to resize this. Okay, with this, our use effect is done. Okay, what we are trying to do is in use effect, are we going to add any code in loader 5? Yeah, we have added one code. It was just a predefined code that I added. See, it is just an animation that we are trying to get in. Okay, it will be just a spinning loader. Okay, we also have predefined loading packages from npm. You can use that for now. Okay, once I share the code, you can get this. This is the clear UI motion UI for the loading spinner. Okay, or else if it's not working, you can leave it up. Okay, you can leave it up for now because loader is important. You can get it, but for now you can leave it up. Once after the session, you can add that part. Okay, yeah, so in use effect, what we are doing is we are trying to get the data that we are getting inside the services API. Okay, once we are getting that up, we are loading that data over here. Okay, so guys, till this point, is everything clear? Everyone got everyone got what I was trying to teach you, right? Clear? Great. Okay, now this is done. This does not guarantees us that we will be getting data. So let's check it out if we are actually getting data or not, or else we made some mistake. Okay. Now, first of all, we have to check if the page is still loading. Okay. So if the page is still loading, in that case, we will be showing our loader. So now this is again conditional rendering. So we'll be using loading thing inside the block. We will be returning it up, and we will create a diff. So this will send your loading spinner. So the spinner that we loaded, spinner that we imported here. So we have to show loading spinner if the page is still in loading condition. Okay. So For that, let's create the class name. Okay. So let's name it as flex because we want to keep it in the center. So we will be finding it as flex items center, and justify is also set as center. And again, for safe, being safe, we will give minimum height is screen. Okay. The basic styling. If you get any problem with the basic styling also, just be quick to tell me before we move to the next topic. Okay. Now, we'll import this loading spinner that we got in. We'll close it up and we will initialize a size to it. Okay. We want to give a size to it. Okay. So, size that I want to give it is around large. So, no need of the bracket. We want to give it large. So, it will work normally. Okay, so we gave it as large. Now remove this return. We do not want it to be like that. And why is it like that? Yeah, so we are missing a small bracket here. So add that small bracket too, because without that, it will not return this condition, return this property. Okay, great. Done till this point. All clear. Let's move. Okay, now what we are done with? We are done with two important things. Okay, let me show you what all things we are done with. Okay, we are done with taking our data, okay, from API. Okay, we are done with that. And then we are done with sending our data from API to our page from where we will be rendering it up. Okay, this is also done. And then we are done with the loader spinner. Okay, loader spinner. And after that, what we have to do is we have to check if we are getting any error. So if we are getting any error, we have to throw a warning to the user. Throw warning. Okay. Once we are done with this, everything is all right. Then we will be rendering our points table. This is also an important point. Rendering our points table. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so let's get to the next point, that is checking for if we have any error. So again, we will be using our if block. Okay. So if supposedly we have defined our use state for error too. Okay. So we will be using that. So if error, so if we are getting an error, then we will be return again inside our diff. Again, this will be returned and we have set our error in the states. In the use state, we have set our error as something. Okay, so we'll be returning that up. So we have to give it as a small styling. We have to give it, let's keep it inside the bracket or else it will not render up. Yeah, so let's give it as class name. So let's give it as a text, small text size and text color. And first of all, we want our text to be center and we want our text to be visible as a red 500. Okay, because it is a warning. So we want it to be flashed on the screen. We want it to be clearly visible to the user. So we are using text red 500. Yeah, guys, is there any problem with my screen? Are you not able to see it up? Guys, is there really any problem with my screen? Just confirm it up quick for attendance link. Okay, let's move. I think so. It's fine. Okay. Yeah. So now comes our main part, main rendering part that we have to show it up to the user. That is the points table. Okay. So let's define the diff. Now here we will be using our table tag. So table head, table row. I think so. You know that we will be using the table tag. Okay. Visible serviceable. Great, great. Yeah. So whoever is not able to see my screen, please check your internet connectivity and other things. Okay. So in this, we'll be giving our background white and we want it to be small, largely rounded. not large, somewhat. And we will be giving our shadow as medium. Once we are given with the shadow, we will be giving our padding. Okay, padding. Okay, so this is your outer block. I don't know why Code Sandbox always gives a recommendation that I do not want. If I have a bracket, I should have a bracket. I don't want them to change it up for me. Yeah. Okay. So let's define one more div inside it. This is the outer div. For that, we gave our background color and other things. Now, here comes our inside div. So this will be your heading. This will be your heading. So this will show you the heading. So heading name will be IPL points table or else points table. Okay. So I think so we can use the h3 tag also here. We don't need the div tag. h3 will also work. Class name, let's give the class name completely. Yeah. So we are rendering a text. Now we have to give the text size. So text size, we are trying to give 2 pixels and text, we want it as bold. Okay. Text 2 pixels and we want this text to be bold and we want to add a margin bottom of 6 pixels. Okay. Great. Yeah, I think so. We should import this. We are ready to show it up on the screen. So we will try importing it inside the home page. Import points table kind of thing. We will be writing it up. Okay, import team standing or points table, whatever you want to write your import statement as import. Yeah, and then we will be copying it to this part again. And inside this, we will be importing our team standing. Team standing. Okay, are we getting an error? Yeah. So can I assign to read only property message of object this the type class expression expected to wrapped with parenthesis. Okay, I think so. We missed one parenthesis, right? What did we missed over here is let me check. Let me check. Okay, what we missed is this one thing. We used a large bracket, but we will be having a curly braces over here. Okay, now loading spinner, the import for the loading spinner is showing me wrong. Let me check what's the error in that part. Loading spinner. What's the name of the loading spinner that we are using? Slash UI slash loader. Let's write it loader. Now it's fine. Okay. So small things might create problems for you. Right now we are seeing that we are unable to load the data. Let me move myself from right to left. Then you can see it up. Okay, what we are seeing is we are unable to load the data. Okay, let's get to API. Let's get to API. Now, again, a small task for you before moving forward. So, till we are writing the front end code, can you tell me what is the error in this part? Why are we not getting the response correctly? Can you, any one of you, tell me what is the issue? Anyone, can you tell me what is the issue? Why are we not getting this response data correctly? What mistake did we made that because of that we are not getting it up? Anyone? Fast, we are somewhat short of time. I want you to quickly debug it quickly, guys. Something that you think is wrong over here. Let me show you the full code. Okay. Don't copy the API key. I don't want you to use this API key. Create your own and then use it up. Okay. Okay. You're not finding anything? Yes, no. Just right now, if you are not getting what's the error over here. Okay, I think so. I should leave it for you for around 5-10 minutes. Right? Do you want some time to check it out? What's the problem? Right, it's right. Okay, no problem. Let's go one by one. Let's check what's the error over here. Okay. So we created the API URL. It's fine. No problem with that. We created the const headers. It's fine. No problem with that. We are not having any error in that. Then we got down. We created get points table. Okay, that is also fine. Then we created our options. We made our method as get. There was no error till that point. You got your URL. Okay, URL is also fine. Then you got your headers, HEATERS. That is also fine. And you are using HEATERS. That is also fine. Okay. And then next thing is your try block. Try block inside try block, you're making your XEOs dot option. Okay, that's fine. Still, we are getting error. Let me see this code. We are unable to load the data. Why is it happening? Just a minute. Let me reload this screen up. Let's see if it is resolved or not. Why is it taking much time? Okay, till it's loading up, let's write the next line of code. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So we got this now. Okay, the issue is resolved. If it is same with you, just check up the spelling or not, spelling mistakes and all. And the issue in the spelling mistake, or you would have to find something up and down. That's the only issue we have. Okay, okay. So yeah, this till this point, do you have any doubt? Anything? We just rectified this API thing. Okay, till this point, any problems? Guys, if you have any problems, just write it up openly in the chat. Okay, don't keep it till you. If you do not tell me what the issue is, I will not be able to resolve it up. Okay. Okay. I assume you do not have any issue. So let's get to the next div part. Now this div will be defining your table thing, class name. Okay. Class name will be defined here. Yeah. So now we will be after this div, inside this div, we will be defining our table. So let's define our overflow as X as auto, overflow X auto, and then we will move to our table part. So let's define the table tag inside this. Okay, why we are using table tag? Because we are going to render a table. So that is why we are using the table tag. Okay. So now the thing will be minimum width. Minimum width should be full because we want our table to take all of the size, window size that is available. Okay. Now inside the table, we have to give the table head. So T head. So table head will be the table heading, table head. Okay. Then again, the class names that we need to give it up. Class name. Okay. Let's get into the class name that we have to give. Again, yeah. So we already gave the minimum width full to the table part. So I don't think so. We should give anything to table it. The main thing will be the table row. We have to give styling to the table row. Let's remove the class name or else it will just throw an error for us. Yeah. So table row. So inside table row, we have to define the table heads again. Okay. So inside table row, we have to do th tag th. Okay. Let's write the classes that we have. Okay. So we just want to give a background gray of around 400 in that part and nothing else. Okay, guys, are you understanding what we are trying to do right now? Okay, what we are trying to do is what is a certificate? We'll discuss this all later. So yeah, what we are trying to do is we are trying to create a table. Okay, we are trying to create a table. So in this table, we will be rendering the data that is we are going to get. Okay, Yeah, so table head is defined. So inside table head, we will be giving a styling. So it will be class name. So see, once we are done with one table head, we'll be copying it for all others. Okay. So padding X4, padding Y is 3. We want some small amount of padding, and text will be kept at center text because we are defining something. We want text to be at the center, and the text will be small, and text will be again semi bold, not bold or medium. Text will be semi bold, and the text color will be gray 600. Okay. So let's write it up. The first thing that we need is team. Okay. Now copy this. One thing else is name spelling. Copy this up and repeat it two, three times. Two, three, four, five, and six. Okay. Now we'll change just the names and things. Then we have instead of team, we will have points. Number of points that we have. Okay. Number of points that we have for a team, and then W, that is number of matches that they won, and then we'll have L, that is number of lost matches. Then we have points. Then we have points, and after points we will have net run rate, NRR. Okay, net run rate. You can see it up. Okay, we are having our head being rendered. Got it? So the background color that we have is, I think so that's too much. So what we can do is we can go with background of gray 200. Yeah, that will be much more better. Looks good. Okay. Yeah. So let's complete this part. Okay, let's map it up. Once we map it up, I will give you a small amount of time, like around 2, 3 minutes to go through what we did. Okay, and go through the code that we worked on, and you can tell me if you have any issue till that point. 5, 6 minutes I will give you. So before that, let's wind this up. Okay. Yeah. So we are done with the T head tag. So let's get into the T body tag. Okay. But get out of the T head and define the T body tag. So now this will render up the data. Okay. T body. Yeah. So again, T body, we are trying to define a kind of grid here. So class name is equals to. So we will be having a divide y of around 6 or 7. Let's keep it as divide y of 6. Okay. Then divide y. So we want to divide it with a line 2. So divide gray 100. Okay. Instead of spacing, let's divide it with the line itself. It will be much more good looking. Yeah. So T body is defined. Inside the T body, we will be defining our map. Okay. So now the data that we are getting, we are keeping it inside our points table. So we will map it up. It's fine with everyone here for the same. Okay, so let's define this points table. Why are we not getting the suggestion? Let's copy the name directly from here. Points table dot map. Points table dot map. Again, inside this, we will be calling it as item, comma, index. Again, the same way we have been defining our map functions. Okay. So arrow key and then a small braces. Okay. And now we are good to go and we'll cover it up inside a curly brace again. Okay. Fine. Great. All things clear till this point. I think so it would be clear. Okay. Yeah, guys, discuss the certificate, all things. Okay. Later, let's see the session over here. So yeah, so now we are defining the body. So we have to define the table row thing. Why are we getting error? Cannot assign read only property to the object. Points table dot map. It's fine. Okay, right. Let's write a code up. Then we'll get to know what's the error over here. So table row. We are defining the table row. Yeah, it's fine. So inside the table row, now we will be showing all the contents. So now we, based upon the index that we are going to get, we want to define different colors. Okay. So we will be defining that too. First of all, let's give a key. So key, as you know, it will be based upon the index, and then we will be naming the class name is equals to, okay, class name is equals to, okay, let's start with the class name thing. Let's start with the styling. So now we are trying to embed JavaScript inside our class. We are trying to embed JavaScript inside our class. Okay, so we'll focus on that. Okay, we are trying to do a models operation inside a JavaScript, inside a class name. Okay, a JavaScript inside a class name. So by this, we are writing modulus 2 equal to 0. If you want, you can have triple equal. It will be more stricter. Then colon and then question mark and then colon. Okay. Now we want to have a different background based upon this, and we will be separating the backgrounds and background gray 50. Okay. Now see what's happening. Let's discuss this point. What is happening in this point is, let's get on the whiteboard. Yeah. So yeah. So what we are trying to do is, based upon the index, we are trying to change the color. Okay. Suppose if index is 2. So in that case, 2 modulus 2 will be equals to 0. I hope so you understand the modulus operation. Okay. So in that case, 2 modulus 2 will be equals to 0. Then we have background white. Okay. Suppose if we have our index as 3. So 3 modulus 2 will not be equals to 0. In that case, our background will be gray 50. So we are trying to render two different backgrounds simultaneously based upon the index that we are getting. Okay. Yeah. So class name is defined. We have given the backgrounds too. Now we also want to have a hover effect. Okay. You want to have a small hover effect. So hover background gray, and it can go till same 50, and transition will be off color. Okay. So these are the CSS that we want to give in the table row. Now next we will be defining a table data, or yeah, table data. So next thing will be inside table row, that will be table data. So these are all predefined tags, guys. I hope so you know table, table row, table head, T body, th, td. Okay, these all things are inside the table thing only. So we'll give a class name for padding, and as well as the x and y. Padding x will be 4, padding y will be given as 3. Okay. So after definition of table data, first thing that we want to show is your team's logo. Okay. First thing that we want to show is team's logo. So let's get out of this and define a div. Okay. So inside that div, we will be showing the image of the Teams logo. So image, we are rendering it up from the API itself. So flex items center. Why? Because we want to keep the image in the center, and space in terms of X, we are giving it as 3. Okay. Now we are using img tag, not the capital img like we have in Next.js sometimes, but we are using the normal img tag, and we are closing it up. Yeah. So let's define the source and ALT thing inside this. So src, okay, source not arc, it will be src. So source will be taken up from the map that we are doing. So we have defined item. So item item dot flag. So source will be item dot flag. I hope so you can see this. I hope so. Okay, you are able to see the uh, team icons now. Okay. Okay, and then we will be defining our ALT tag. In ALT tag, you can write anything that you want. Okay, so item dot we have defined team. So let's write it as team. So if the image is not getting rendered, in that case, we will be showing the team name. Okay, and then comes our class name. Class name for styling it up. So we want it to be styled. So we want it to be in a rounded form. So width should be around 8 and the height should be around 8 and we are giving it as rounded full because we want it in the circular shape. You can see it showing it up on the screen, rounded full. And one more thing is object will be contain contains object contains. Okay. So this is it for the one of your table data. Okay, we are done with just one table data. Now let's get to the next table data. I know it's tiring and hectic, but that's all we have to do in this case. Okay, after we are getting the API, we have to show it up. Okay, guys, focus on the session, guys. Do not worry about the certificate and all things. Okay, yeah. So we are done with the logo. Let's get to the team. Yeah, let's get to the next thing that is number of matches played and all. Okay, so let's define things for that. So now we have our text. Class name is equals to, yeah. So class name is equals to, now we will be having text, mostly text in this all things. So we'll give the text. Okay. So again, the padding X will be kept as 4, same as before. Padding Y will be kept as 3, and text will be kept in center, and the text would be gray of 600. Okay, let's get into this. And we are rendering it up as item dot. Now, what we want to show next is points. Okay, no, number of matches played. So we'll be using item dot played. Okay, yeah, now you can see we are able to see the number of matches played. So next we will be copying this up. We will be copying this table data and one time, two time, three time, and one more time, four time. And then we will be showing the data up. So next will be won after played. We will have our won that will be WON. And next will be lost, LOST lost. You can see things getting updated. Is there any problem with the lost? I think so. We wrote another spelling for the lost. LOSS. We wrote LOSS. So it will be LOSS lost. Then we have points. And at last, we have net run rate. So net run rate, I think so it's defined with NRR. Yeah, net run rate is defined with NRR. Okay, okay, guys, got it. See, we can clearly see our points table now. Okay, if we get on the larger window, we can see we have points table, and then we have all the logos, then number of matches played, won, lost, points, and NRR. So this all thing, what we are doing is we are fetching it from the API. Okay, you are getting what I'm trying to do is I have an API endpoint. I'm making a GET request to that API endpoint. I'm getting that data and restructuring that data. After restructuring that data, I'm showing it up on the screen. Okay, so that's what we are doing in the section. Okay, this was our dynamic section of the code. Yeah, everyone, I'm giving you 5 minutes. Okay, just go back to the code, understand the API structure, understand the restructuring, understand what all things we are using. Okay, it's kind of just 5 minutes break or 5 minutes revision that you want. Okay, just 5 minutes and get back and tell me if there is anything that you do not understand. Okay, I will just remove my video till that point. I will show you Yeah, guys, is the audio still the issue? Just quickly confirm it up. Is the audio still a issue? So we can't hear you. Yeah, everyone, others, can you confirm? Sir, voice is not audible. Yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. So your voice is audible. Great then. Okay. So let's move to the next thing. That is our stats section. Okay. So in components, let's create our stats, stats, and we'll make it a section dot JSX. Okay. Let's begin the UI part. That this is the last UI part that we'll be doing, and most probably the last section that we are gonna do today. So export default function again, same thing. Stats section. Okay, we'll be doing stat section, and then again return thing same as before. I'm going fast because I know you would have understood this all structures. We have been doing this from the first day of our class. Okay, yeah. So in this, we'll be using some of the icons from Lucid React. Okay. So we will be importing that first. And as well, we will have a framer motion being used in this code. Okay. So before that, let's write a use client thing. Okay. Use client, and then we will be importing some things. So import motion from. So we are trying to import motion from framer motion. So we installed framer motion yesterday itself. So it would be in our dependencies. So let's see the dependencies. Do we have framer motion? Yeah, we have framer motion over here. Okay. Once our framer motion is done, users. So now we will be importing some of the UIs, some of the icons. Okay. So those icons will be like users. One thing will be that, and then trophy. Okay. So we want to show how many users we have in our site and different things. Calendar. So no DAE, comma, and the next will be trending. Okay. So it will be trending up. Now we'll be importing this all from the Lucid React. So Lucid React is an important library for your icons. Lucid React is also installed because we used it up in last classes. Lucid React IDE spelling. Check the spellings. It might cause trouble for you. Okay, we are done till this point. Now, in headers, we created an object. So same way, we will be creating an object in the section 2. So before return, let's write const. Now, it will be link or whatever you want to name it as. So we are naming it as stat. Okay, const stat. So inside that stat, we will be having different objects. Okay, so different objects will be icon. So icon, we have imported those icons over here. So it will be users. Okay, icons is done. Then what is the title that we want to give? Title. So it will be total match. Okay, and okay, we have to add it in double inverted comma because it is a string thing. Okay, double inverted comma, icon, title, value. So we'll be adding a value 70. Okay, then now we'll just copy this up and we'll change the data inside this object and that will work for us. No. Yeah, we will be copying it for 2, 4. Okay, trophy. Then next thing will be calendars, and next thing will be trending. trending up. Okay, so let's take the title different. So we want it as team. Okay, we want it as team. Next thing will be our tournament duration. Tournament not spelling duration. And the last thing will be around highest score. GHS to highest HIE score. Okay, so we are done with the object. No. One more thing is value. We have to change the values also. So like, I'm trying to achieve the perfection. Okay, it's not like you have to also do everything that I am doing. You can go with any dummy values. Okay, do not need to write this all things up. Just the main important thing is creation of the object. 246 upon 7. 24, 246 upon 7 or 5, whatever you want to write. Okay. Now let's get into the main thing, main return part. So here we are going to write up the main code. Again, the small bracket is gone. Let's bring it back. And it will go down. Yeah. Let's start with the main part. Class name. Class name is equals to, okay. Yeah. So again, we will be having padding y of 16. We have to give a gradient. So gradient to right, background gradient to right. Okay. Till now we were doing background gradient to bottom, top to bottom. Now it is background gradient to right. So it will move from left to right. Okay. So it will be from blue 600 to red 600. Okay, from blue 600 to red 600, and the text will be white. Text will be kept white. Okay, and inside this div, again, we will be having one div of container. We will be having one div of container. Yeah. So in this, we will be defining our container container. Okay. So after this, we'll be starting our motion part. Okay. So we imported our motion at the top from the framer motion. So we will be using that. Before that, we'll be giving our margin as auto and our padding X as 4. Now, from here, we'll be starting our motion part, motion dot div or else whatever you want. So we'll be writing motion dot div. Okay, so this is for adding some flavor motion kind of thing inside our UI. Okay, so let's start with the motion part. Yeah, let's start with the motion part. In this, we will be having a small description text or else the heading. So it will be IPL 2025 stats. Okay, stats and highlights. Okay, highlights. So this is what we have to show. So we have to find the div part. If you want, you can have any hashtag okay, instead of div. So better we use dot h2. H2 will be perfect in this case. Okay. So we have defined a motion for h2. Now for each of the motion, we have to give the animation, initial, and transition thing. Okay. And before that, we have to give it a class name. We will be giving it as a class name. So for the class name, we will have our text size as 3XL. We want to give it as a 3XL. Okay, guys, the tenders form is pinned in. You can give the tenders form whatever it is. Do not write again and again in the chat box. Font bold and the text will be kept as center. It's fine. Great. Text center and the margin bottom is text as 12. After the class name, we have to define something known as initial. Initial will be used for the framer motion. Okay. So inside the initial, we have to define the opacity of the screen that we will be keeping it as 0. Okay. Once the opacity is defined, we will be using the animate thing and we will be defining inside animate again the opacity will be kept as 1. Okay, so this all definition is just one time. We will after that we will be copying this motion dot tags and we'll be using again and again. Okay, because we do not want it to be written again and again because why? It is requiring too much time to write and you do not clearly want to waste up your time. So now we will specify the duration. So what duration that we want is around zero point 0.5. Okay, guys, to this point we are done. Let's add this section to our, yeah, this will be motion, not other things. Right, just correct it out. We wrote like Mosho, like Moshi or something kind of thing. It should be motion. Let's add it in the home page. We will be importing this import stats section from, okay, dot slash. We will be writing components slash stats section. Okay, spelling stats section. Okay. Cannot read only property. We'll check the error. What's the error we are getting? Just give me a moment. Let me write it up over here. Let's write the stats section. Yeah. So let's get back. We have to use the use client, but with a specific framer motion. Okay. Yeah. This is the error that we are making. We were not writing it as completely. It's fine now. I think so. It's fine. Okay. Let's move to the code back again. Okay. Now we are done with the H2 tag, and again we have to show the data that we have stored inside stats. Okay. So now we will be using map again. In this case, we have to define a grid now. So let's get down and we will be defining our div again. And inside div, we will have our grid. I think so, you know, the grid and flex layout. Okay. We are defining our grid. Yeah. What's the issue that we are getting div. Is there any problem that we have? No, no, no. We do not have any problem. We are writing it up. So div grid, and then we have to define the grid column 1. Okay, we have given trophy. Let's check the spelling of trophy. Yeah, the spelling of trophy. See, guys, there are many spelling mistakes that we are making. That's why we are getting small issues. So try not making that up. See, we have our section getting showed up. Now let's quickly map it up and we will be able to see whole of the section. Okay. So we have defined grid columns 1, and for the medium size window, we want our grid columns as 2. So number of columns in medium size window should be 2. Normally it should be 1. And for the large screen window, we will be having grid columns as 4. Okay, so it's all about grid. Okay, grid. Let me show you just what grid is. I hope so you know, but for the better side, I will tell you what grid is. Okay, what's happening? So, yeah. So what we have is we have three number of cards. So we want to show those cards. Okay. So to show those cards, we are trying to show it in the grid layout form. So something like this. Okay, this is grids. These cards are in our grid layout form. So that is what we are trying to define. If the grid layout is grid column 4, in that case, we will have 4 columns inside one row. 4 columns inside one row. Okay. So for the larger size window, we are defining grid column as 4. Okay, guys. Yeah. Okay. So we are defining for the large size window 2, and for each of the grid, we will be giving 6 as the gap. Okay. Now we will be mapping our stats. Where are we writing? Oh, not here. Let's get back here. Stats dot map, and then again items comma index We will be using same thing again and again. We have used our map for around third time or fourth time now. I hope so you understand it up. Yeah. So we are inside a map, stats.map, items, comma, index. Now we will be again defining the motion. Now what I want is I will copy this up because I do not want to write it again. I will change the h2 to div. Again over here also I will change the h2 to div. Okay, great. And I will change some properties. Over here I will write one thing that is key. So key will be our index part. Key will be clearly our index part. Okay, what can we see? Okay, this is getting rendered again. I will just correct it out to show that. Yeah, so key is index part, our background. I have to change the class name too. So let's remove the class name and write it from the scratch again. So we'll be giving a background white, but not the complete background white, but /10. Okay, somewhat of background, something grayish kind of thing. And we will be giving a backdrop. Okay, so backdrop will be blur and it will be small. Backdrop blur small. Okay, guys. And next thing that we'll be using is rounded. Let's add the space. Rounded will be small. Okay, rounded will be small. And next thing will be padding and text color. So padding 6, small padding 6, and text will be at the center of the screen. So let's do the small as large. We want it to be large. Okay, we can see it up. We can see our cards now. Okay, now we'll change some of the initial properties. So in the initial, we have opacity 0. So with opacity 0, we will be adding y as 20. Okay, okay, guys, y is 20 and opacity 1 also will be adding our y as 20. Y as 20 itself. Okay, now we have transition. So transition we have added duration that is 0.5. Along with duration we will add a delay. Okay, so delay will be added. So now delay, no, not animation. We want to do that in transition, not animation. Okay, so let's add up the delay. Okay, okay, delay and delay will be around in index into 0.1 index into 0.1. Okay, that will control your delay. And one more thing, we want to add a while hover thing. While hover, okay, while hover. So this will control the hover property. So on hover, what should happen? We have to control it with this ball. Okay, yeah. So y should be our -5. Okay, y again we are adding it as -5. And then again the transition will be added and transition will be given a duration of 0.2 over here. Okay, transition and then inside the transition duration. So duration will be 0.2. Okay, guys, is there some problem here? I think so. There is some problem. We missed one bracket. Yeah, we missed one bracket. We have to add one more. Yeah, now we are fine. Okay. So now we are done with the motion.div. Now inside that motion.div, we will be adding one or two more tags and we are done with this section too. So let's remove this IPL 2025 stats and highlights. Okay. Stats and highlights should be removed. Now we will be adding one small div inside this div on this one div. Now this div will control our content part. Okay. This div will control our content part, and again we are giving flex and justify as center. Justify is given as center, and margin bottom is given as 4. Okay, guys, I know this is a UI part. and we are going on coding with the styling part. So it might be somewhat boring, but we have to do this because the front end part is also an important thing to complete. Okay, great. So now we will be mapping it up, mapping things up. So we have stat. Where are we writing it up? Let's go down. It should go down. Should come there. Yeah, stats dot. Now we'll be defining it up stats dot icon, and we'll give the class name for the size and the height. Okay, so height will be around 10 and double inverted commas. Should not forget that. And width will also be 10. Okay, height will be 10 and width will also be given as 10. Let's close this. We have closed this up. Entered element is invalid. Expects a string for built-in component. What element are you talking about is invalid? Stats section. Just wait a minute. We are getting an invalid text out. Stats icon, class name, centers. It's fine. ST80. ST80. It should be ST80, not ST80s. Stat icon again. Yeah, let it load up. Okay, that this is the additional section. If it again throws an error, we can remove that. It's not an important thing. Important thing comes here with the h3 tag. Okay, now this will contain our stats.title. Okay, so stat dot title will be inside this. Okay, guys, what the stat is not defined. Stat is not defined. Stat is defined. I think so. STATS is defined. STATS stats dot title. And if we are getting an error in stats dot icon, what we can do is we can write it up directly. That is stats dot icon. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So stat dot title. Let's control this text all things. Class name, text size. Yeah, we have time for submission of project. You will get around 2 days for submission of project. Don't worry about the timeline for submission. You have enough 2 days to submit it up. Okay. Font will be medium. Yeah, font medium and margin bottom is equals to 2. Okay, great. You're done with this, and we'll copy this up, same thing, and we'll use it for the value part. And but we'll be using the paragraph tag over here. Paragraph tag for same thing, and yeah, then text will be same thing, but with the 3 XL and font is medium. Font will become bold. Okay, font will become bold. And yeah, we have to rectify one thing. We are importing it as items. So check it up and do it as items. Items and again items. So if it is throwing an error, let's check it with all this. Yeah, it's working fine. Okay, you can see it up. Total matches, team, team duration. So title we have to change this. So we have to use value. Okay, we have to use value. Okay, yeah, great. This is done. So let's check it out with the stats thing. I think so it should work now. Let's remove this up and let's use, and it should be stats, not stat. Still elements, wait, let me refresh it up. Okay, yeah. So the map thing is done. We are able to map it up clearly. Okay, the title value, everything is getting mapped up. So yeah, So with this, the stat section will also be done. Yeah, sir, kindly respond. Do we have time for project? Yes, yes, you have time for project submission. Okay, you can submit it up via GitHub repo. You can share your GitHub. Okay, no problem with that. It's all sorted. Don't worry about that. You have time. Okay, don't panic about this. You have time. Okay, guys. Yeah. Yes, you can see that the deadline is 18th. Okay, 18th, 11:59 p.m. So before that, you can submit it. No problem with that. It's sorted out. Okay. Yeah, guys. So I'll quickly get back to understand what all things we did. We started with adding background image in the home section. Then we completed our API creation. Okay, we structured the API. Then we did our points table section. After points table section, we did this last part. Okay, till this point, we are done. Only thing that is remaining right now is our footer section. Okay, so the footer file, I will create it up in our code sandbox, but I'm not going to code up. Okay, for the footer, this will be a challenge for you. And shortly, like I will add the UI in the notes. Okay, I will add it up over there. Just wait, I will show the UI to you. What is the target that you have to build? Okay, I will show you a, and I want you to make it and add. You will get the code in the code sandbox. It's not like I will not be giving you the code. After the session, when you access the code sandbox, you will get the code for footer over there, but I want you to try it out first by your own. Okay. This is for the large size window, like I would call it as tablet screen. Okay. This is your large size window. Okay. This is your large size window. And let me show you the small size. Okay. Small size window 2 will add it up. So small size windows will be for mobile only. Okay. And let's see. This is your small size window. Okay. Large size window and small size window both are given to you. Small size window will be given to you. Okay. Yeah. So I hope so you can see the window size. You can see the screen, like the output that you have to see, that you have to make. So what I want you to do is just in 2, 3 minutes, quickly go through this output and tell me, can you build this or not? Okay, just tell me, can you build this up on your own or not? Okay, just quickly tell me yes, no, you can build it up, you cannot build it up. I think so. You would be able to build it up, okay, without any issue. Yes, guys, respond, guys. I want you to respond. Don't sit idle. Just mute. Respond, guys. See the UI. Tell me, can you or not? It's just a small challenge for you. Okay. Yes. No. Why, Pranay? What's the issue? Why can't you? What is the issue? What do you think, Pranay, will be the challenge for you? Yes, Pranay. What will be the challenge? Do you think will be for you that you cannot build this application? Practice makes perfect. Yeah, practice will always make you perfect. Either it's a project or it's an internship or anything. Okay, practice will always make you perfect. Don't worry about that. Can try to do this. Yeah, sure. Do not worry. You will get the code. It's not like I am blindly pushing you. Just go, just do it. I am not giving you code. That's not the case. Okay. You will be getting the code. I am learning React now. No problem, Pranay. Even if you are learning the Reacts, no problem. See the fonts, you can use it from the Lucid React. I want you to explore the Lucid React part also. We are not importing any forms in the form of text images or anything. Okay, we are directly using our fonts from to Lucid React. So I want you also to explore the Lucid React and take up all the fonts from there. ओके रिपोजिटरी मिलेगी सर पूरा कोड सैंडबॉक्स सेंड हो रहा है पूरा कोड सैंडबॉक्स ओके यू विल गेट इट डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट क्यों छोटी छोटी बातों पे क्यों टेंशन लेते हो भाई सब सब होगा यू विल गेट एवरीथिंग प्लीज टेल once more about to set certificate out. You will get the certificate. Do not worry about these things. What the thing that you should be worrying about is getting the knowledge. Okay, you will get the certificates. Okay, great, done. Guys, you all are done with all doubts, right? Yeah. Certificate not necessary skills. Yeah, sure. That's different thing. This is later. Yeah, guys. Is there any doubt that you want to ask me? Is there anything? Just quickly ask me. We have to move to next small thing. Any course we'll have to say no, I don't think so. We will have. I want to save it to local system. No problem. You can directly fetch the code sandbox. You can directly store in the local system, or you can code it up in your local system. That's not an issue. Yeah. What is the issue? Check the render method of start section. Move this up. Okay. Outside code sandbox. How to do it on VS Code. See, on the first lecture, I told you how to create your application. Okay, I told you how to create your application using React, and then how to install your Tailwind CSS and all and other things. Okay, I told you clearly before itself. So I don't think so. It should have any issue. Just give me a moment. Okay, if you have done it, I don't think so. Then it will be issue, right? If you have done it on the local system, is there any problem that you are getting while doing it on the local system? Tailwind CSS. See, the best thing to learn Tailwind CSS is the documentation of Tailwind CSS. Okay, cannot get anything better from anywhere. So Tailwind CSS documentation is the best. I would recommend you. That's the best thing that you can get. Okay, get on the Tailwind CSS documentation. If I show you Tailwind CSS documentation, get on there. You will be getting everything over there. Okay. Whatever you need, you will have that things over there. Okay. Yeah, deployment part we'll be seeing. No problem with that. Just give me a moment. I think so. I have to change some permissions inside that. Yeah. So for the deployment, what we have to do is we have to go to our GitHub link. Okay. From there, you can create your repository name. Okay. So right now, maybe the will get inside a personal GitHub account. Name must contain. Yeah. So you can give it any name that you want. I'm giving it as IPL application. So let's give it as 4. Okay. And give it name it as IPL application 4. We'll have TensorFlow saved there. Make it as public if you want. And from there, you can create the repository. Okay. So it will create you a GitHub repository. Okay. No problem with the So I will tell you till the point we can create the GitHub repository. So from GitHub, we can directly fetch it up using the version. Okay, it's not an issue. We can deploy it up from there. So what I want is first complete a footer up. Okay, in the future bootcamp, so we'll get a complete full video of different types of deployment that we'll get. So for short, just take this up. We directly send our code to the GitHub by using this thing. Okay, we are creating the repo in the GitHub. Once the repo is created, we will fetch it up by using our version. Okay. Yeah. So it's creating up your repo. Just wait a minute. Yeah, so your repo is created up. You can go to just a minute. Apple application 4 command failed. Okay. So this VM environment that you're getting, you do not need to do it up. You can either, if you know about containers and all that, I think you would not be knowing. So in that case, you can use the container, or else you can go with universal template. But this is deployment on code sandbox. This is not deployment on any external application. This is just deployment on code sandbox. So I do not want you to use this. Okay. So after you are done with this, what I want you to do is write commit and push. Not able to finish the commit, please try again. Now see, what's the issue that I'm getting is the file permission issue. So while creating this code sandbox, I made it private and unaccessible through GitHub. So that's why I'm not able to push the code. So what you have to do is you have to change some file permissions while creating the code sandbox. Okay. So in that case, when you click on commit and push, it will directly go to your GitHub. Once GitHub is done, we can deploy it anywhere we want. Okay. That's how it will be the basics of deployment. Okay. More we will clearly discuss in the next boot camps. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Let's quickly revise once what we did today. Okay. And then we'll end this session today now. So what we did is we started with adding background to our home screen, and then we made our API section, we restructured our API, and then we made our points table. Okay. So then again after the points table, we did the stats, and the footer is given to you as a challenge for you. I will just add the code of footer right now. Then this all things were done. Async, await, try, catch, structure. Okay, we can use the response directly, or else we can structure it. Why was use effect use, then data, other things, and then this all things were done in today's lecture. Okay, I hope so you got the crux of this lecture. Okay, great. If you're working in your local system and things are right, then it will be great. So if you are working in local system, do one thing, directly create a GitHub repo and push your code to the GitHub repo. Okay. So that you can do it. It will be much more easier for deployment by using this. Code sandbox might sometimes create issues while pushing code to GitHub. But if you are in a local system, then it will clearly and easily will be done. Okay, just create the repo, follow the commands that's given on the GitHub, and push your code to the GitHub. Okay, okay, guys. Everything clear till now? Great. Everything clear? All good. Any doubts? Any doubts? Any problems? Okay, so before ending this lecture, so I would like to inform you about one campus ambassador thing that we have. Okay, so if you want to have any free sessions organized, being organized, any boot camps or any events getting organized in your college campus. Okay. So in that case, you can become a campus ambassador with us. Okay. It's a very prominent position for us if you want to organize any free boot camps, any free sessions and all. So this will be a great help for you. Okay. So it's a campus ambassador position. You can clearly get in touch with us regarding that. Okay. So yeah, so it will deal with your project, like if you want any boot camps to be organized, any events, anything, and it will be totally free. Okay, you do not have to pay, and there will not be anything any pay related to that. It's totally free. So in that case, you can become an ambassador with us with DevTown. DevTown gives opportunity for you, and we are circulating the campus ambassador form right now inside in our chat box. Okay, live chat box. You can take it up from there. Okay, campus ambassador form, and you can fill it up. It's a very exciting opportunity. I think so. You should take it up. Okay, for organizing events, it will give you a great experience, great exposure in your campus and outside also campus, a good connection with us. Okay, so I hope so. You will sign it up. Okay, a great opportunity for your like connection building for your betterment. So if you're interested, just fill in the form and we'll move forward with your application and we'll decide what are things we can do with along with you. Okay, great. Yeah. So again, we'll notify that the project submission deadline is 18th and till night 11:59 p.m. Okay. So you can submit it till then. Okay, guys. Sir, if any doubt comes, how can I ask later about this project? How can I contact? We regularly have boot camps. Either you can come in that live chat or else you can directly mail us. Sir. Okay, we can resolve your doubts. No problem with that. We can fill in a contact form, whatever. Okay. Because we can't send any direct form of connection with you because it will be misused. That's why. So we have many forms. You can like send us mail or other things. We can solve it. What and how to submit, please? I don't know about GitHub. Subscription. So GitHub, you just have to push the code on the GitHub. Okay, and then just share the link of the GitHub. Okay, you do not have to do anything. Okay, guys. And I think so. We have shared forms, submission form too. Okay, you can submit that up, save that form up. You can submit the GitHub link in that form. Okay, yeah. We'll take the session on GitHub too. How to create a repo, push forward to repo, how to deploy from GitHub. All other things will be covered in that. Okay. Yeah, after doing your code, once you are done with the code, you have to push it up on the GitHub and then you can share the link. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. With this, we will end this session. Hope so. You have a great learning night ahead. Okay. I don't know. Don't worry, Saptarshi. We will have one session on GitHub also. We will discuss how to create GitHub repo, how to push code, how to pull code also. Everything will be discussed. Don't worry. I think so. We have shared a submission form. Okay, we have to submit it up there. If you want, we can share it up again. Yeah, you will get that information. Yeah, yeah. So you can see the submission form. Okay, just use this form for submission. You can submit it till 18th. No problem with that. Okay. Okay then. Have a great day, great night ahead. Bye bye. Good night. Have a nice learning night. Bye.